Australia was colonized by Britain in 1788. Before colonization, Aboriginals lived across the whole of Australia as hunters or gatherers. They spoke about 250 different languages and 700 different dialects. Family, community, and land were the most important aspects of their culture. They believed their ancestors lived in Australia since the beginning of time. They are the first inhabitants of Australia. They ate bush foods like insects and animals. European lifestyle is very different to the Aboriginal lifestyle. Their religion is Christianity. They ate food that was grown locally. They were colonizing countries at that time to expand their lands. They used horse-drawn vehicles to move, and they ate using cutlery, unlike Aboriginals with their hands. Families were most important to most people than the individual at that time, and their houses were made of bricks and wool. And they also had kings and queens. During colonization, Britain claimed Australia as terra nullius, no man's land. So land was taken away from Aboriginal people and given to European settlers. It was very destructive and violent for indigenous people. Diseases was brought to the New World. Indigenous people had no immunity to Western illnesses such as smallpox, measles, typhus, and influenza. Assimilation policy impacted on their life very negatively. It aimed to destroy Aboriginality so the Aboriginals would behave like white people. So the government took half-caste kids and took them away from their families to take them to missions and to teach them how to behave as a white person. As we saw in the movie Rabbit Proof Fence, the kids didn't like it at all, and the three girls walked for hundreds of miles just to get back to their mother. And even though they saw it as a bad act, Mr. A. O'Neill saw it as a good intention. He first said the natives must be helped. So he also said that if only they would understand what we are trying to do to them. This is saying that Mr. O'Neill saw this as a good thing and that he is helping them, but they don't know what he's trying to do to them. In 1966, Vincent Legarie inspired Aboriginals to claim back the land they own. Vincent Legarie stood up for them and got a land for them and they called it Daiguragu, which means a land for us. In 1972, Aboriginal rights was a popular issue, so the Prime Minister pledged to give Aborigines their land back. In 1975, Vincent Legarie earned his land back and earned the medal for his service to his people. Aboriginal lifestyle started out very simple. Families, communities, and land is the most important thing to them. They had a totally different lifestyle than Europeans before colonization. The British colonization had a very huge impact on indigenous people of Australia. They violently came and claimed Australia as terra nullius, no man's land, and they started spreading diseases and stealing lands from Aboriginals. The assimilation policies stole generations and changed the Aboriginal lives completely, with them wanting the Aboriginals to behave like white people. And they stole the children from their parents, which kids found it devastating, and also parents. But Mr. A. O'Neill, he was the one that took them, and he said that if only they would understand what we are trying to do to them. And that is like saying that what he's doing is a good deed. And last thing, thanks to the heroes like Vincent Legarie, who decided to stand up for their rights and got their land back.